I'm Jessica.
Hi, I'm Taylor.
Nice to meet you. I'm going to be your student physical therapist.
Nice to meet you.
I'm just going to be asking you a few questions before we get physical therapy started. First things first, is there anything about your culture, beliefs, or background you want me to know before we start?
No, this is my first time doing physical therapy though, so I'm a little nervous.
Okay, no problem. Do you have any preferred language other than English?
Just English.
Okay. I noticed from your patient intake form that you're coming to physical therapy for shoulder pain. Would you describe when and how the pain started?
Yeah, I noticed it about 2 weeks ago. I was cutting palms in my backyard, and kind of when I started to reach up overhead is when I started to feel some of that pain, but I didn't really notice it until then.
Okay. So it was kind of like a gradual onset?
Yeah, it's kind of been ongoing. I just started to more recently notice it.
Okay. And is there anything that makes this pain worse or better?
Definitely reaching or kind of putting my arm into like an awkward, almost overhead position is the most uncomfortable I've noticed.
Okay. Is there any position where you feel like that pain relieves, or is it just neutral?
After it kind of like just, if I'm not using it, it kind of dies down, but for the most part, like throughout the day, it kind of gets more bothered, and by the end of the day, it's usually pretty sore.
And the pain you're feeling, would you describe it as sharp, dull?
My normal feeling is just kind of dull, achy, but when I do have those overhead, like provoking positions, I would say it's sharp, usually kind of like right just in the front of my shoulder here.
Okay. And does this pain spread to different areas of your arm or neck, or does it just stay kind of at that front of the shoulder?
Usually just in that one spot, so no.
And if you could rate your pain from 1 through 10, 1 being totally fine, 10 being you need to go to the hospital as soon as possible, what would you rate your pain, like normally?
Normally, it's best, probably like a 1 or 2. It's usually not that bad.
And at its worst?
At its worst, I'd say it's about a 6 out of 10.
And are you currently doing anything throughout the day to help ease that pain? Like icing, eating?
I mean, I'll ice it sometimes at night, but I take ibuprofen to kind of help with the pain.
Okay,
Usually.
and how often do you take ibuprofen, or how much do you take?
I'll take it usually before and after like a shift typically, so I'll take, I don't know, 3 or 4 before, maybe 3 or 4 before I go to bed.
And besides ibuprofen, are you taking any medications, like either prescription or non-prescription?
Yeah, I take Lipressor. I have high blood pressure.
Okay. And I noticed from your patient intake that you're here without a referral from your PCP. Have you done any lab tests, like MRIs, scans?
No imaging.
And is this the first episode of pain that you've experienced in this area, or have you experienced anything similar in the past?
No, first real time experiencing any of these symptoms, especially for the shoulder.
And I know you mentioned high blood pressure. Has anyone in your immediate family have had any other major health problems?
Yeah, my family has a history of high blood pressure as well as cancer as well.
I noticed also in your patient intake form that you've had cancer in the past. How long ago was that, and what type of cancer?
I had skin cancer back in 2012, but I'm in remission now.
In terms of this injury, have you found that it's limited you in any ways with your day-to-day tasks?
Yeah, definitely at work. I'm a server, so me trying to kind of wait throughout the day with all of the tables and trays stairs. That's definitely pretty uncomfortable. So I'm trying to kind of alleviate that pain as best I can. Usually just through icing and ibuprofen, like we talked about. But if I have to, I'll switch hands. But I'd prefer not to because I'm right hand dominant. So other than that, though, that's kind of like my main thing. I feel like that's limiting me. Every once in a while, I'll have some problems with household chores. Just being at home, doing any kind of heavy lifting or trying to like reach for something. But I'd say that's about it.
And you mentioned the household chores and working. Is there any kind of like recreational activities you do or hobbies you enjoy that this condition has like limited you in any way?
I play volleyball every once in a while, but not very often anymore, especially now because of the shoulder pain. But every once in a while with my friends in the past, I would go to the park and do that.
That sounds fun. Would you consider your overall health to be excellent, good, fair, or poor? And why do you feel that way?
I'd say it's pretty good. I'm able to exercise for the most part. Lately it's been a little challenging, but I feel like for the most part, with the exception of my shoulder, I'm able to take care of myself pretty well, and yeah, it's good.
Do you smoke or drink at all? Do you drink any like caffeinated beverages by any chance?
Every once in a while I'll have an energy drink, but probably only like once every like 2 or 3 days, not very often.
Okay. And do you have any trouble falling or staying asleep at all?
Staying asleep, yeah, sometimes I have some issues if I roll onto that shoulder when I'm sleeping. I'll wake up, but other than that, I usually get a good amount of sleep. It just kind of depends on how well I do sleep throughout the night.
Okay. And have you noticed any feelings of heaviness in your chest, left arm, jaw, or a loss of appetite, or any drooping in your face recently?
No, nothing I can think of.
Okay. How about any unexplained muscle weakness or swelling in your body that's not related to this injury? Okay. And any changes in like your skin, like rashes or moles that won't go away or heal? And in terms of goals for physical therapy, I know that you mentioned this is your first time. By the time you're finished here, like what activities would you want to see improved?
I mean, mainly I want to just kind of get back to the things that I've been doing, so working without pain and that occasional kind of volleyball on the weekends, but really just want to get rid of the pain as much as I can so I can go back to doing things kind of normally at home as well too.
Okay, definitely work on that. And as we wrap up here, I just wanted to kind of go through some of the highlights of this conversation that we just had. So you mentioned that you came in without a PC or primary care physician referral for that shoulder injury that you experienced 2 weeks ago when you were cutting palm trees in your backyard. Reaching overhead is kind of the main cause of pain in that shoulder. You're a server, and usually when you're working and holding up that tray, that's kind of when it bothers you the most. Your pain at best is a 1 or 2, and at worst it's a 6. You ice and take ibuprofen for the shoulder, and you also take Lipressor for your high blood pressure, and that also runs in your family. This is your first time at physical therapy, so I'll kind of ease you into it. As long as you're kind of comfortable with me kind of working on your shoulder, that shouldn't really be a problem. I think that's it. We'll try to reach that goal of you being back at work with no pain, and try to get you back on the court for volleyball, because I know that'll be fun once you can do that again. And I think that's all that we have for today. It was nice meeting you.
Thank you, nice meeting you.